Okay, so hello there everyone, this is Tomo here. I'm the Dark Elf Match Fixer, and I'm being joined by the Wood Elf Skink Killer, Liam Coolston, and the Chief Editor of Underpitch Magazine, Crusader. How are you today, gentlemen?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Good,
can't complain.
Yep.
I knew that was going to happen, something like that. Okay, let's get this game on the road, okay? So I'll just count down, then we'll hit play in 3, 2, 1, click. So of course this is the Shadowhill Cowboys coached by Sanjun versus Rhys's Ravens. The Shadowhill Cowboys won the toss and elected to kick.
Which is an interesting choice, because I think Rhys, to win, he needs to cause some pain, and getting those 3 LOS blocks, that might be his key to victory today, depending on how successful they are against the players.
Yeah, I certainly agree with you there, Liam. I think if he gets the first turn, can potentially cause quite a bit of pain. And as you say, removing some of these key Dark Elf players will be his road to victory.
Yeah, of course, Sanjun's just looking for that 2-1 grind. So,
But with all three of those linemen having block that are currently sitting on the line of scrimmage waiting to be moved around, could be a bit of a big ask to knock them down.
Yeah, they're not quite as bad as some of those elves with all the blodge. But yes, block will make it a little harder, considering most of the nasty players on Rhys's team are Bretonian blockers, which have wrestle.
So the opening kickoff event's a riot, which of course means that both teams lose a turn. We're seeing Griff on the field on the right hand side here for the Bretonian team, while all of these nice early POWs are getting results.
Which is just
that's
what
brutal.
he needs. Oh, good start. This is just what Rhys needs.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure there's still a bounty on Griff at the minute on the bounty board thread, wasn't there? It's like any league. If you see Griff and get a Griff kill, you get some game on Steam or something, I think it was.
I haven't seen that around.
Yeah, I'm not too certain. I mean, I have got the bounty board open from earlier today after the huge news. No pun intended. But yeah, I didn't see Griff's name on there.
Maybe it's just me seeing things then.
I'm sure Sanjun would like to get rid of Griff anyway, because he's such a good player. But yeah, from the LOS blocks, injury to a blitzer already. They got a block dodge lineman is out. Sanjun actually did end up purchasing another player, a new blitzer, which is a little surprising because sure that got him back up to 4 blitzers, but it means of course he is another level of TV above the rest of the pack.
Yeah, you certainly don't want to be adding too much TV to your team when you have to go up against this very well-equipped Bretonian team.
Yes, they are very efficient for TV. So it's a good start for Rhys. He'll be happy with that first turn, I think.
Do you really want Griff standing there right now?
Griff has Fend. I do not believe any of the witches have Juggernaut.
That is true.
Yeah, but witches do have Frenzy. Get him across.
Fend does counter.
It does count, yeah.
But it can trap him against the sideline still, which is an interesting move. I mean, Crusader probably wouldn't mind if the Dark Elves try to run around him, because that means he can try and surround them and kill them. Lots of powers early. As another Blodge fellow goes down.
It opens up a nice hole there for the in Rhys's defense that Sanjun could choose to exploit if he so chose.
I think Sanjun will just hang back here. He's not quite fast enough. He's definitely not fast enough to reach the ball carrier. Rhys has played it well by holding him back. But also he doesn't need to rush. What did Rhys get in the inducements? Can you guys see?
Okay, he has a wizard because that bug thing's there when it expands out.
Right.
So I'm guessing just a wizard and Griff.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty good, really. Sanjun's Star Runner actually starts off on the bench, so he won't see any time for a while.
Yeah. It's a lot of TV to have just sitting on the sideline, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, he probably doesn't want the tackle Mighty Blow player to come after him, because that could really hurt him. But, interesting seeing what Sanjun is doing here, spreading his players out a little. I'd imagine Rhys would try and surround a certain group of them and kill them.
So we do have two Dark Elves that kind of, penetrated through the gap into the other side, looking to split the Bretonian team up a little bit. Rhys just elects to run to our right, his left, just away to where he has more support on the field.
And Rhys is playing well. And the fact that he's moving his pieces first, which of course, if you're not dodging, is always the safest move.
Absolutely. Agility 3's it's not bad, but it's not the most reliable when it comes to dodging out.
He probably wants to move his pieces into a safe position before blitzing away and trying to remove some players. I think we will see some peasant fouling, which is always good fun.
Yeah, well, Rhys is under no obligation to score fast here. He can just slowly trundle his way down the pitch, making it difficult for these Dark Elves to break into his cage. And he can comfortably get himself 1-0 at half-time. He'd be rather happy with it, I imagine.
Yes, it'd be interesting. I think it would be quite hard for the Dark Elves to score on a one-turn attempt. Definitely possible, and I'm sure that Sanjun has that in his arsenal.
Yeah, movement 8 is not too hard. Or you could always, No, Griff's
Movement 8
exactly the
plus
same as the
Frenzy.
movement 8. Yeah.
So, it is very possible.
One dice Mighty Blow
One
Blitz
dice
onto the
blitz.
Witch Elf here. Does not get the knockdown. Comes in for a second attempt with his lineman, gets the POW, knocks the Witch Elf down, breaks armor, and that's an injury.
Oh, that's a big one. Minus
Nip
AV.
Oh, no Kaz.
She will be back. So,
That peasant was almost getting. Yeah, that peasant was almost getting meat for dinner.
Yeah. Oh,
Rhys, of course, had lots of practice on how to break Armor 7 last week against the Capital Rats, which is a game full of, injuries and KOs.
It's very early use of the Apothecary there, and I don't particularly blame him. Minus armor value on a Witch Elf. Ooh.
and it's a pretty awesome Witch Elf. Wrestle and plus strength is very nice for a Witch Elf.
Yeah, 23 star player points. That's a lot of investment into that witch. And consider the fact that she's got the plus strength on her.
Yeah, additionally, she looks to be kind of like the main sacker, the main ball sacker of this team. And, you know, losing her on your defensive drive, you know, I think it's going to put a bit of pressure. He still has, of course, Lanway or Lan, whatever, the dodge, wrestle, tackle lineman, which could serve a similar purpose. But, you know, with considering, you know, it doesn't have the strength or the movement of the Witch Elf, you know, it might be a little harder to get him in there.
Really, this has been a really, really good start for Rhys, because he's removed 2 players. He's forced Sanjin to use his Appo early, which means like the Big O needs someone to trim Sanjin down a bit, and Rhys might be the person.
Yeah, certainly a lot of eyes will be on this match and the rest of Stan Dune's run through this league. Just seeing if anyone can take him down a peg. I think a lot of people would be looking to try and get that opportunity.
Yeah, this is one of probably the biggest match in the Big O we have seen so far. So that Witch Elf looks very exposed if a blitz is to come her way.
First GFI we've seen Sanjin try today, and of course it's failed. He re-rolls it, makes it on the second attempt.
Yeah, I think he's rather grateful it's not snowing right now.
Oh, absolutely.
But just touching back on that, Witch Elf is standing out there all on her lonesome. Do you think she's in that much danger? I mean, he's got to get this cage moving again. He's got a few of these elves he's got to get around. I think, don't you think we might see the blitz heading towards the elves that are in his way, or do you think he'll cut back in that direction?
I think he might cut back across with the strength 4 blitzer. That's where I reckon he might cut back.
Whoa!
Oh, Ragnar! Minus movement
So,
into.
the Apothecaries are already out of the match, turn 3. This could be bloody.
Why do I get the feeling this is a death?
Oh! The
No.
minus movement
What was it?
sticks. Is there any way for us
Ouch.
to see?
This is bad. Yep.
I think he got the
54
same
into a 54.
thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Ouch, that hurts.
You can always tell when someone hasn't rolled well on their apothecary reroll because they sit there for a second.
Yeah.
The salty hesitation.
You've just rolled dead as the second result and you're double checking to make sure you're not misclicking.
Yeah. Yeah, this is exciting because with the Appos already out.
Any further injuries are sticking. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to toughen up if you get injured now. Yeah, I reckon he's going to cut back across the field and hit, or maybe just stay where he is and hit Camille de Hill. Sanjin, you got to name your elves, not the default names, so we can pronounce them.
He said on his interview when he wasn't sure on Full Metal Show, Foul Language, he said that he'd made a new Nurgle team and everything because he wasn't sure if he was going to bring across his Dark Elves, and he went through and he named all of his players and he was going to say to them, "Ha, look, I did it. They're all named just how you like it. You can't moan at me now." And then of course he was allowed to bring his Dark Elves over.
Interesting blitz because he could have blitzed him onto another player. Oh no, he does have sidestep.
He got sidestep.
But he didn't blitz with the tackle, which surprises me a little. Although no, both down sadly, so we even can't wrestle to him and give him the boot. Which I would imagine is a bit disappointing for Rhys, who've been wanting to stick the boot in there. Now his tackle mighty blow. Player Harold Hardrada looks like he's going to get a shot, I would imagine.
I think for safety, Rhys has to move his cage a little bit here. you know, you don't want the corner of your cage being in contact with an elf in an ideal world. He's moved it here, so, you know, Griff on the corner here is now in contact with a witch elf, which, you know, it's
As
not
he has
witch
spend,
elf,
it makes it a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The witch elf, I don't think will be doing much, really. It's going to be hard to get a 2 dice on Griff without. I don't think Sanjun has much guard.
Yeah, I can't see any guard pieces of Sand Dune on the pitch or off.
But yeah, Sanjun's taking his time a little, assessing his options. What do you think he'll do?
What will Sanjun do? I think you're just going to try and spread your guys across the field, you know, just looking to minimize, just elf basics, minimize the amount of hits that you're taking, and maximize the amount of, like, 2 dice blocks you can get. I'm a firm believer that the way to break down any kind of, you know, offensive formation is just taking the 2 dice blocks that are available, and, you know, and just gradually, you know, grinding them down until you have an opportunity to pounce 3 tackle zones onto the ball.
Yeah.
Yep, I'd agree with that.
Ooh. Double skulls. Down to 1 reroll for Sanjun.
The dice are not being kind to either player at the start here.
No, they've been rather harsh, haven't they?
Lots of contact at the moment means that we should see some hits. And of course, they might be very expensive with no apothecaries in the game. And like, I don't think Sanjun wants to get into a battle of attrition, considering that the other team has 4 Mighty Blow to his 0, and also has plenty of spare peasants to foul with. So,
yeah, it's not a game that that Sanjun wins if he stays in contact and tries to keep up punch for punch.
I'm surprised the AG5 guy, like, maybe dodging him out. He's probably the blitz target this time. I'm surprised no blitz on Harold Hadrada, because he is the only Mighty Blow tackle piece, so he can actually counter that dodge. But, I mean, a tackle to get a tackle zone on the ball is pretty good.
So I just checked the bounty board, and Griff is on the bounty board at the moment. If you get a kill on Griff, has to be a kill, you're going to be getting a copy of Bad Rats on Steam, courtesy of Mr. Raki or Jay.
What's the hatred for Griff there?
Yeah, there's got to be some backstory there somewhere.
He says, "I want him dead, killed, brutalized, and maimed. Never to be seen again, capiche? First one to kill Griff in a game in the league with a proven screenshot gets one of the highest rated games on Steam. Bad Rats."
Well, I mean, if Griff keeps rolling dice like that, he may just kill himself.
That loner block is always a little scary. Oh, not very good rolling by Rhys there. 3 dice block can't bring him down. Which Sanjun will be happy that the power of Blodge is keeping him in this, definitely. Two dice peasant block.
Oh.
Rerolls
That's
the
why-
peasant block.
Interestingly, that allows him to get next to the ball. It nearly would have been better to take the skull.
Yeah, I'm thinking if you're going to re-roll the 2 dice peasant block, why wouldn't you re-roll the 3 dice block onto the Was it alignment at that point in time? Yeah.
Yeah, and he's an AG5 lineman, so he's an important one. But yeah, after the first turns started really well for Rhys, Sanjun's got back, gotten himself a Kaz who's not going to be returning, and he can maybe get a 2 dice buck on the ball here.
I don't think he can. The issue is Marcus Valerius Corvus with the guard there. It's kind of, stopping the strength 4 blitzer. You have to remember that Arthur Pendragon, the ball carrier's got strength 4 as well. So you're going to need to force, another kind of piece into contact with the ball just to get a 1 dice at this point. So I hope I'm proven wrong, just to learn something, but I really can't see how you're going to manufacture any kind of decent hit on the ball here.
The only thing I could see is there is a chain push. Well, there was a chain push option, but there isn't anymore.
Just happy to take the blitz on Harold.
Yeah. I would be trying to get rid of Harold at all costs if I was Sanjun. I think Sanjun's more worried about playing the ball, though. Which is fair enough. I mean, he wants to win.
Yeah, but he's got to get the ball first before he can play it.
That's very true as well. Pushing that lineman out means 1 dice is possible here.
Yep.
Rhys will actually be happy. He was telling us after the recap, or maybe it was during the recap, that Chu Chilane, his blocker, who currently just has Wrestle and Mighty Blow, finally got a casualty after many attempts at trying to get him one. So a 1 dice block on the ball with a power required.
It's a shot you have to take, really. I agree with, making it kind of, like last action, like... Or, you've got guys on the left-hand side here that can pounce, but at the same time, it's not as if we're in a situation that if you fail the block, the cage is just going to run down into kind of, an absolutely unstoppable position from this. So I think he's in quite a good position to actually take this 1 dice.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Both down, so nothing happens. And we are sure that he's going to get smacked this turn. I think we are viewing from Sanjun's position, which means I think that Rhys will try and go left. Because as you can see, the peasant can block the landway, the lineman out the way, and then you can have Harold can get up and do the blitzer. Sanjun has just tried to cover that a little with that witch elf, as you can see. That's what I would expect in the next turn. Because it is turn 6. Remember, we had that riot, which took away a bit of clock.
Well, so far it looks like you're prophetic. Back of that cage.
Another KO just now.
Rianfin. These big hits have got to be sort of sitting in the back of Sanjun's mind too, if he keeps taking big hits like that.
Yeah, well, here comes a mighty blow hit on a strength 4 blitzer.
Gets his power. Oh. Yeah, I really thought the injury was going to pop up there when I saw that. I really thought it was going to happen.
Double six on the armor, double 1 on the injury.
From the highest of highs to the lowest of lows.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right now. I think he's in quite a good position to turn the corner, as you mentioned. Just another mighty blow blitz into a POW.
Oh.
And that one was an injury.
And this one's going to stick.
By Landway.
This next game, groin strain for Landway.
These injuries are going to add up very quickly.
I think that puts Rhys back in the driving seat, to be honest. He just needs to keep hitting Sand Dune and hope he can cause some injuries that are going to win in the game, sort of thing. I think does Griff have sure feet?
Yes.
Oh no, Frenzy. Yeah, that's good though, because Frenzy meant that Peasant could get out of a tackle zone. Oh no.
There's a foul coming in now.
Yes.
Oh, red card.
And
4 on the armor roll.
well, the big thing was that Griff wasn't moved around to the other side of the cage. So
Yeah, there's a very exposed cage side there, isn't there?
it is a plus strength, blodge, sure hands ball carrier. So one of the best ball carriers that you can have inside a half cage, that's for sure. But this could hurt, especially if there's some elf BS coming.
Having said that, with these elves at the back here, it's not the most reliable of dodges. I don't see kind of, if you want to make like a 2+ dodge, you're going to have to come backwards. Of course, the Witch Elf isn't in a tackle zone. Jessus?
With the AG5 guy, he can get away.
Oh
on
yeah,
two
that's a
2+.
2+. Yeah, 2+. Then he can come round. Was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Yeah, with a GFI, he can put an assist on the ball. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 GFI. Or the Witch Elf can choose to come in the front.
It depends how comfortable he is with 2+ dodges, sort of thing. Because, no,
Just a knockdown on Harold.
Ooh, that's really good for Sand Dune.
Yeah, it's a good piece to remove from the board.
However, though, assuming that Rhys manages to score, we will have 2 KO rolls. So there's 1 KO is out for Rhys at the moment, and then we have 2 are currently out for Sand Dune. So that's a 75% chance for every player to come back, assuming there's 2 KO rolls.
Yeah, Witch Elf's gone up to say hello to Arthur.
Here comes the blitz. 1 dice needs a power again.
He's just trying to decide who it's coming from.
Yeah, I think it's an AG5 lineman. He does have tackle, so that is a good guy to.
Gives him his best options to get the ball free, yeah.
Yeah, it's a 2 in 6 instead of a 1 in 6. So 33% chance here.
It was his first
Snake
dodge.
Snake eyes.
Well, that's a little unfortunate.
Just a wee bit, eh?
Yeah. Griff is in a scoring position in case all goes wrong.
Do you really want to be scoring on Griff, though?
I mean, I think he'll take it if there's no other options.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a Mighty Bull Blitz onto a Witch Elf, actually. While we're looking at all the other things. Breaks armor and there's a KO.
Yes. We need to see a bit more than KOs, though. They're a bit boring. Not for Sand Dune, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was just going to say, tell that to Sand Dune. What's he got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players on the pitch?
Yeah. See, I don't particularly care which blood gets spilt, but...
As long as blood gets spilled, yep. Well, it's not my division, so it doesn't really bother me.
Interesting position that the ball carrier is currently in, actually. He's actually 1 square away from the end zone. No, he's 2 squares away, so he needs both his GFIs. Now, this means if Jesus can just get a pushback on him, he can push him out of range. Which I think Sand Dune would be happy with making him roll that sort of dice.
Yeah, the positioning of
Griff-
Griff becomes quite important then in that kind of situation.
Griff might actually be used here. We might see Griff if this is a pushback.
So what's the play here? You mark up the corner of the cage to get what? No, that wouldn't even be a 1 dice, would it? Because of the strength
I think
4
it's
ball carrier.
just move your players in the way and hope you 2 dice against the ball and hope you get a pushback and push him out of range. I think that's his best shot. I don't see much more than that.
Yeah, I think you also need to consider maybe putting someone onto Griff just for the pass, and hope the intercept, which means you're going to have to leave another elf standing next to, say, Minen, just to tie him down.
Looking at players in range, we have the ball carriers just in range. We have Frederick Barbarossa is also just in range, as well as Odin the Wanderer, who's just 2 squares to the left of the ball carrier, and of course Griff is. But those are the only players who can score, so I'd imagine Sanjun would man them up first, and then attempt whatever risky move he has at the end.
Well, there's the mark on Griff.
Yep, so he's taking this. This guy can now not score. And now he will take a 2 dice against block. And if he rolls a pushback, there's only 2 people in range. So this is big. And there is a reroll on this block as well.
Or does he? Do you think he's just thinking about sitting there and keeping the tackles on him?
Well, if he does sit there, you got Odin the Wanderer can 2 dice block.
Oh no, there we go.
Yep.
Gets the skull.
No. See, Rhys can actually use some good chain pushing to actually move this player forward, I believe. I'm pretty sure that is definitely possible.
Yep, it definitely is.
Oh, he chooses not to try chain push, so he's going to have 2 GFIs into the end zone.
Another KO.
It's a good thing that was a KO, actually, otherwise Rhys would have boxed himself in just a little bit there.
He would have, wouldn't he? Considering this sidestep player is still in the way, I mean...
The sidestep player still presents somewhat of an issue. Because if you can't put him down, he just steps back in the way of the ball carrier again, and then it's back to asking the same question: how do I get around him?
See, I think wrestle takes him down. That's what I would imagine. He'd wrestle him to the ground, Yep. And then move the other out of the way.
Yeah, you're all right now. Yeah. Frederick's just gonna step off to the side, and yeah, Arthur's gonna come running through. You would think. You're not gonna roll that hit, are you?
Will there be a griff block? A little greedy,
no
but...
way. Loner, no. Never a chance.
Yeah, and you've got 2... Loner plus the fact you've got 2 go for it's to make.
So, very nicely done there by Rhys. And there will be 2 chances for all of the 4 KOs for the Shadowhill Cowboys to come back. So half are back already.
Yeah, so 2 dead and injured. We've got the KO roll. Yep, 2 Dark Elves jump up. On Rhys's side, he still has, one man injured, one man sent off, and his KO actually stays down.
Yeah, but he's got the 3 peasants to replace him, so...
Yes.
So let's see what
The
we're looking at.
problem,
unfortunately, Harold is a blocker, but, what do you do?
Yeah. We see, looking at it, actually, Sanjin has done well. He's removed the 2 tackle pieces of Rhys's team. So that could be really good in the second half. I'd imagine he would push for the win. I think Sanjin is that type of coach, especially with a team like this. But yeah, we'll see.
Sanjin's 3 guys down right now, isn't he? 1, 2, 7, 8. Yeah.
So that could make a big difference.
Of course, we're going to have another round of
Yeah.
KO rolls, but if these 2 stand up, depending if Rhys's guy comes back or not, he could be down a lot less.
He'd be desperately hoping for that Witch Elf to decide to get back off the ground.
Yeah, definitely. And same with the AG5 lineman. He wants them both, really.
Keep in mind, Rhys has still got what we assume to be a wizard as well, which can be quite big on a defensive drive. You're not going to try anything funny here if you're Sanjun, are you?
I mean, does he think he can one turn? Oh no, fend on the line. That makes it hard, actually.
That just out and out stops it, does it not? If you can't get the push plays and follow them up.
Yeah, I think it does.
He could have tried. It would have been pretty hard. I mean, he needed that frenzy. If he had frenzy and there was no fend, I reckon he could have done it. But or is he attempting? He might be attempting here.
We can definitely get 1 push forward.
I mean, he may as well try if he can.
Yeah, the question is how to maneuver the second push forward. He needs 3, doesn't he?
Movement 8, yeah, 3. You need 3 just to get within 2 go for it to score.
Not quite sure if this is going to allow for a 1 turn. We will see.
I always feel bad when coaches, spend time setting up for this and thinking about it and going through it intricately. Yes, a squig sandwich kiosk.
Yes. I wish we got to see which players actually got hit, and then they don't.
As opposed to the variable name $sign player 1 and $sign player 2.
This thing up the top here that I'm putting my cursor spinning around now, that's your sandwich kiosk. Buy these things, guys.
Well, there goes fend, and
Yes,
reposition. So yep, the attempt is happening.
Nope, that's it.
What?
That's pretty unlucky for a 3 dice block.
I'm just trying to work out what the next line of play was. Had that been the push, do you then move this lineman to fill the gap?
Reposition.
Then, yeah,
something like that. Be tricky. Yeah, I wish we knew into Sanjin's mind right now. I'm not sure if he'll play for a tie. A tie is worth 1/3 of a win in points on the ladder, so it's worth a little.
So as the teams run up into the tunnel, it's halftime between the Shadowhill Cowboys and Rhys's Ravens, and Rhys's Ravens are leading 1-0.
That's good. He got the witch back.
You're clearly skipping through this.
The excitement is killing him.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but Harald Hadrada comes back onto the ground too.
So what, Sandy's going to be 2 men down if I'm right?
Yes. 9
Yeah.
players for Sanju. It'd be interesting. These 9 players might still have more TV than Rhys's team.
Absolutely. I mean, the thrower's on the field now.
Yeah, I think what Sanjin might do is he might set up to score in 4 turns or so. But if he starts getting really beaten up, he might just hold back a bit and go for a tie. As boring as that sounds.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine a way to get an easy turnover against this Bretonian team, especially with Arthur carrying the ball.
Yeah, he really is an elf's nightmare, isn't he?
And you've got to look to the future when it comes to these league games too. You can't just go out and try and win every game when you're not going to, and get the rest of your team beaten to a bloody pulp. So some strategic game choices need to be made every now and then.
Yeah, this is a big match in the context of the league. I'd say these two are going to be some of the top finishing coaches.
So yeah, it looks like Sanjin's just setting up to maximize the amount of hits he's going to be able to get on the line, while still, protecting his flanks to a certain degree. Quick snap. Because the Shadowhill Cowboys can now move into 1 square different. For me, this is normally just moving kind of, 1 square towards the ball, making, your...
Yeah.
It's not
Yep.
gonna be anything like, game breaking, is it?
I mean, it's a bit handy if you're like, if your opponent's set up too close or something like that. Or you snake, and since you've stood next to the ball, but not really going to affect much today.
I like to use it to pull people off the line of scrimmage, just to avoid being punched in the face after the turn's ended and stop having to make dodge rolls.
That was an interesting choice to hit first with your Witch Elf on the line. Of course, if anything went wrong there, you're walking straight into a... she's plus strength. You still have 2 die, I guess.
Yeah. And it's Fen, so no frenzy either.
Block doing Knuffles work.
Yep. Although this line of scrimmage is nowhere near as beaten up as Rhys's was, that's for sure. As Sanjin's was, I should say.
Blitz onto Harold does not break armor. I know he's just going to drop back with this Blitzer.
Yeah, I think Sanjin would really like some Mighty Blow for this team.
Would certainly add a little more oomph to his blocks and blitzes.
Well, like you look at his team, he's got plenty of stat ups, which is always very nice for elves. But elves need that guard, that Mighty Blow. It just makes them so much better.
Both coaches must just be thinking, oh, what exactly am I going to have to do now at this point? It's obviously easier for Rhys, in the decision he can just sit back and see what's coming, and if Sanjun wants to try and, get a win, it's him that has to very much force the play and dictate here.
I think
Yeah,
Rhys-
absolutely right.
I think Rhys will just try and whistle Sanjun down some more before he actually starts coming down the field.
Yeah, Sanjun's currently got a big ask ahead of him. He's got to break through the Bretonian lines, score, and then somehow find a way to remove the ball from the Bretonian hands again and steal on their drive. Not an enviable task.
Well, that's Sanjun's problem. If he decides to go for the tie, that's going to be at least 6 turns where Rhys is going to be able to just pick a player, smack him, and foul him as hard as he can. And that can be really quite devastating considering there's no apothecary. And he might not have enough players to actually get, to force his way through the Bretonian defensive line.
Reselecting.
Yeah, like if I'm Rhys. Sorry, Tomo?
I was just saying Rhys is electing to use the speed of Griff just to come around the side here to put some pressure onto the ball carrier. But what were you going to say? Sorry?
I was thinking if I'm Rhys, I'm looking to apply as much hurt as I can to some isolated pieces, just as Liam was saying, whittle down the numbers and make Sanjun come up with the answer to the big question of how the hell do I do this?
Well, I would agree. I think this play by Griff maybe shows a bit more intent to make a statement on the ball here.
That's a big power there.
Yeah, and it opens up a big channel that some more Bretonians can come running through.
Interesting that Rhys is really trying to get through that hole. Thought he might hang back, but he's playing aggressive.
I think we're seeing a statement be made here.
What I want to see is a foul on that blitzer this turn now. Maybe not the best strategic move, but I want to see it.
But are you risking the send-off with one of your more valuable positionals? Now that all peasants are sort of...
They are, aren't they? I think just tying him up, making sure he can't really run anywhere, and then next turn maybe sending in the boot.
Yeah, I think Sanjun's going to struggle here, when it comes around to his turn to, make any kind of semblance of a cage to protect the ball. Like, because he's down on numbers, and, already we've seen his lines broken apart a little bit, he's going to have to roll a lot of dice to protect the ball, I think. Well, not so much now, actually. I was kind of expecting maybe, he would mark a few more of these guys on the line, but he's kind of chosen not to. So I think what we're going to see is a block onto the lineman or the peasant at the front there, and then maybe some kind of cage from Sanjun just kind of like on the line of scrummage, kind of like behind where Griff is.
It's almost tempting for him to try to just run straight through. If he can get rid of Frederick Barbarossa, he can sort of run out the back with either probably the strength 4 witch, maybe even. That could be an option for Sanjun, definitely. It is a bit of a potato play, sure, but I think it's going to be hard for him to try and stall out, considering he has such a numbers disadvantage and his players are more scattered. But it does look like after that piece's movement, it's going to make a cage. So it looks like either a tie or a Rhys win at the moment, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the some of these injury die have been absolutely sick. And of course, we have to remember now that, even if Sanjun does group up and puts a lot of players around the ball, Rhys does have the wizard.
Yeah. That's why the cage is a bit wide. So he can only wizard 3 and not 5. The problem with doing that, though, of course, is it means that you can get it so that...
Are we going to see the surf here?
Ooh,
Yeah,
we
cheeky
might.
surf. No, rules of power.
Sanjun might be a little disappointed there. Is there a frenzy piece around for a counter surf?
I've
I
just
think-
looked. No, the only frenzy piece is on the other side of the pitch. You can't make it to the
Very
Witcher.
disappointing. Well, yeah, see, caging wide means that sure, the fireball can't get all your players, but it really makes you vulnerable to just a lightning bolt on this elf lineman in the top right, whose name I will not attempt to pronounce.
You talking about Killdraw?
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, if you bolted him, the cage is wide open. That snake.
Oh no! What is it? What is it? Oh, just badly hurt.
just badly.
Oh.
Yeah, so he doesn't even need to lightning
Sanjun's
bolt
not had a
down.
good. Sanjun has not had a good amount of luck with his witch elves today.
Well, the lightning bolt isn't happening because that peasant has been stood up. Might just be a block through it.
Well, he's got
With Odin the Wanderer.
yeah, Odin the Wanderer is in contact with Caemtil, so he can easily, he's gonna block him down and then move someone in. I don't think he can get 2 dice. No, he might be able to get 2 dice, especially with Griff though. Dauntless fails. So that was quite big, actually.
See, it's interesting how he uses Blitz now. I think there's a few options. Either tackle Blitz on the Witch Elf with Hadrada, who's standing on the sideline currently. Or maybe, he might just, set up a sort of screen and then be a bit crazy and dodge Griffin. But I think that's a bit rash at the moment, to be honest.
Honestly, I think it was a bit of a mistake just to make that a 1 dice play there from Rhys. If you take the 2 dice block by supporting with Kugin, you're getting 2 die onto the onto Caemdil, the Blitzer, and then you still got your Blitz that you can, Griff's got more than enough movement to come in from the side there and get, an unassisted hit onto the ball carrier for 2 dice.
I think I'm most surprised by the fact that the witch out here isn't being hit when it's a 4-strength witch. That's a juicy target, no Apo. Whatever injury happens is permanent.
Yeah, I think the fear there might be if I don't knock this witch down.
That's true.
She's just going to have a nice, easy shot of pushing him straight off the pitch. Funnily enough, laying down, I think, is where he's safest at the moment.
Although maybe, Harold will take the shot for the team. But no.
Tries the 4+ dodge out. Does not break armor, so he's
right.
just safe there on his back. And now once again it's the turn of the Shadowhill Cowboys. I think a lot of inexperienced coaches would be panicking in this situation, being like, oh, what am I gonna do? You know, it's not immediately clear, what exactly you can get out of this game. But Sanjin's a cool customer. We heard that from all the recent interviews he's been in. I don't think he's the type of coach to panic in this situation.
Yeah, I'm sure he has some idea up his sleeve. Not that, but
Yeah, I don't think rolling double skulls was part of the plan, but yeah. That's a better
nice
result.
power.
And he's freed himself up a lot of space there out on the left-hand side.
I think it might be a pass down the field to this Witch Elf. Or he might, cage again, but depends. Does he want to go for the win? That is the question now, isn't it?
You have to remember Dump Off could end up playing a role here. If you keep the Witch Elf open and just run your runner down the field and keep it open, then even if Rhys does manage to manufacture a hit on the ball, this runner is designed to maximize the use of Dump Off.
Yeah, we're seeing another wide cage, it appears here. This might be time for some wizard action here.
Can he dump off to the Witch Elf from there?
Yeah.
Dump off's a quick pass, right?
Yeah. Quick pass, so that's 3 and 1. That'll be in range. Yeah.
So do you think we're going to see the wizard spring into action on Rhys's turn?
I'd imagine he would. I'd imagine Wizard Geesus, if I haven't screwed that name up, and just run through and get a hit with Arthur. But maybe Rhys wants to keep it a bit longer, see if he stalls in the end zone. I'll see if he scores, and then. But I'd imagine this would be the time to use a wizard. Although we were saying that last turn.
Every turn's a good turn for the wizard. Nailed him.
Fireball.
KOs on the wizards or injuries or deaths always just feel a bit like cheating, doesn't it? It's like, I'm going to pay 150,000 to remove an enemy player instead of just, knocking him down or something.
Well, I have some wizards set me off. Especially when I've had a few purchased against me when you Cyanide didn't implement the petty cash properly. So you can get into situations where you'll be like 1,000 TV more than them, and they use 14,000, buy a wizard, you get nothing in retaliation, and then they like kill 2 of your players with the wizard, and you're like, no!
Oh, no, that isn't even the worst. The worst's when, they're like, 300 or 3,000 TV up or whatever it is, but because they've got the cash, they still decide to buy the wizard against you. And it's just
At
like...
least then you get the retaliation wizard.
Oh, well, no, if, the way that Cyanide's set up, if they buy a wizard, it doesn't
recalculate team value.
Exactly.
No,
I'm pretty sure
it's
the same way Tabletop does.
It should, but it doesn't.
See, I thought it did, because I thought it was just the first team that got robbed. Because it actually does add the petty cash if you use it, if you're the second team taking inducements, which is always the lower TV team.
Yeah, my understanding was that's how it should work, but I really don't think it does. I don't think it recalculates if the first team buying inducements spend money from their own money and not their petty cash. Because obviously they're not going to have petty cash.
I couldn't even tell you how it works on Tabletop simply because the league, a lot of the players who I've played are new players. and you try and explain inducements to them, but they still don't purchase them. So I've had this Chaos team who's, TV 1300 against a lot of these lower sort of like 1100 teams, and they just don't use any of the petty cash. And I sit there and go, okay.
See, interesting for Rhys to use that lightning bolt because it really hasn't given him much, other than of course removing the ball carrier, which is quite handy, admittedly. But like if Sanju wants to score,
Yeah, Sanjun can score very easily from this position.
but that does mean he might get too ungrinded on. But I think if he doesn't score, I think Rhys will get him next turn. To be honest.
Yeah, I think turn 12 is definitely where Sanjun has to get onto the scoreboard.
And I mean, he hasn't had many pieces removed this half, so he will have at least 8 players, I think, or maybe only 7. But he could get up to 9 because he has 2 KOs. So,
I think it was GFI.
Yeah, he's got 2 knocked out. Yeah.
Sorry, because those GFIs, they stop Rianfin from dodging out and trying to get the hit on freeing up Ianyu, who would then be in scoring position without a dodge. And additionally, like as well as stopping that blitz around the corner, he's putting another tackle zone on the ball and just making it generally hard for Sanjun to get a hold of it.
2 6s on those dodge rolls there for Coward roll.
Who needs AG4? That's not a good roll though for Sanjun. He might be forced to use his reroll here.
Yep.
He does.
That's a better result. An armor break to boot. Won't matter much if he scores here, but I don't think he's got many options.
He can't make the end zone.
Yeah, he's just picked up with his blitzer, so... Of course
So he's trying to hold out for the tie. Are you much of a play for the tie person, or do you play for the win, usually Crusader?
Look, I like to say I go for the win, 9 times out of 10, but it's an evolving strategy.
Yeah.
In a similar situation to Sanjun, when you've got 3 injured players and the 2 KOs, and you're 1-0 down, I can see playing for the tie to be an easy option to make, an easy option to take. The difficulty of removing the ball from these Bretonian hands is just it's a big ask.
Well, yeah, Arthur Pendragon, he really is just a nasty player for opposing sackers.
Yeah, he's got all the skills on him that you sort of want in a ball carrier.
See, that's the thing now. I guess, sure, Sanjun has the choice to stall, but he's not going to be able to protect his ball carrier very well at all.
Yeah, we're definitely about to see a display on elf dodging, I think. Cutting the corners of these tackle zones here.
Yeah, well, he has the 5 agility blitzer at the bottom of the screen who can come out and assist up the top as well. He will get there.
He's cutting it reasonably fine with these dodge rolls.
He is, isn't he? I mean, any ones, he's actually quite protected. After he put that blitzer in, he's alright. What I would be worried about, this frenzy guy is in range of that witch elf. You make Sanjun pay for stalling on you, Rhys.
I don't know if he can reach. Can he? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
he can do it if he's a bit crazy.
GFI. No, because Ferios is kind of in the way. Like if he wasn't there, then yeah, sure, he can just run directly there and get it. But
Well, he can always take the -1 dodges.
Very tempting. I mean, he's going to smack the witch anyway, and he may as well, if you're getting stalled on by the opposing coach, a good move is to try and just injure their players.
Yeah, force them to move by saying, if you don't do anything, I'm going to kill you guys.
Which Sanjun would be fairly worried about, I'd imagine. He doesn't want to get too beaten up.
And like we've been saying, it would be difficult for Sanjun to score on a Bretonian drive, but like with the Dark Elves, or Elves in general, I mean, nothing. It's never over till it's sort of over, is it? You can pull off some interesting plays.
I mean, he just needs a power on the other team's ball carrier, really. It's usually not too hard to get a possible block on the ball carrier. It's more just that last step of getting that power. A Griff blitz?
Yeah.
We haven't seen the blitz so far, yeah.
Oh, he just dodges straight into the one dice. Tries to make the reroll.
Loner fail.
It's a reroll. That's a bit surprising. Will Sanjun score next turn? Considering Griff has sort of penetrated his cage now.
I mean, if it's me personally, I'm probably I'm just going to dodge and get in there. I've got one reroll left for the half.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You could try and remove Griff.
And I mean, holding off Rhys for 4 turns is definitely possible.
Yeah, but the size, look at the room he's got to maneuver in, it's shrinking every turn.
When Frenzy Guy is in range of really anyone. So, he's going to pay a price if he does stall.
It's interesting here, though, is Griff's actually not that easy to remove.
He isn't, is he?
No, like, you've got the lineman, Geese. If he wants to make the block against him, he's got the guard piece, Marcus Valerius Corvus, holding him back, and Griff himself, strength 4. So that's still 2 dice uphill, even with the assist from Camdell.
Sanjun's having a good long think about this, and fair enough.
Yeah, it must be something to think about. Like,
if
you don't score, you're giving the Bretonian team 4 turns. And, and Rhys is more than capable of scoring in 4 turns in this situation. It's what do you gamble on? Do you gamble on holding in the corner still? Do you gamble on keeping him out? He doesn't really have, well, I guess there's 2 KO'd players. You can kind of, gamble on them coming back and evening the numbers up a little bit, but...
Yeah, it's interesting, because, like, I would say score now, but I would have scored 2 turns ago as well. Like, I'm not as ballsy, so to speak, as stalling in the corner. Can Sanjun hold his nerve? After 2 minutes... There was 2 minutes and 20 seconds of thinking there, so...
You've got to hit the tank to come up with the right answers every now and then.
And look, after that blitz, it looks like it's going to be a stall.
Don't like it. He's left the top end very exposed. I'm sure enough he can move Rhiannon Finn, or whoever his name is. Name your bloody player, Sanjun.
No, Sanjun choose to take the score, making it 1-1.
And my Blood Bowl Watcher has just crashed.
Oh no.
Good job.
So Dead and Injured Dark Elves 3, one of his KOs gets up, so you know the sides will be a little bit more even now. Still not by much though.
This is going to be an exciting last couple turns.
So let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, versus, that's a full 11 from Rhys, isn't it? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah.
Look, not unwinnable, but it's going to take a big effort from Sanjun and the Dark Elves here to, force a mistake or capitalize on a misplay. But you don't see Rhys make too many of those.
Hopefully, I'm able to watch it because my Blood Bowl has just crashed.
The blitz certainly helps. It's a shame that the ball's in danger of bouncing out the back, but if you wanted to roll the dice and actually play and try and steal the win, blitzing down maybe Munin, the blitzer piece on the far left, and then running through that gap towards the ball is certainly an option.
Well, he's got better than 50% odds of the ball staying in. There's only 3 results on the scatter, on the bounce, that'll put it out for a touchback.
I was choosing a blitz through... Who is that?
That's a good hit.
Kugin instead, yeah. Nice solid power there. Use the Witch Elf to come round off to the right, and it's kind of, splitting off the Bretonnian team from the ball now.
I think you've just got to play the odds here. As I said, you got better than 50% chance the ball's staying in the pitch.
And it does.
And it does.
I think I would have liked to have seen Came to Hill run through as well, and maybe a token effort from Gaston. Yeah, if you're gonna go you're gonna try and make this play, I'd have gone all in on it and jammed as many elves down there as I could.
Yeah, look, I would agree with you. If you want the win, the ball's right there for the taking. The worst that happens is that there's a throwback and you're caught well out of position. But I mean, if you don't get the ball, you're in a similar situation anyway. You've got Bretonians with the ball marching down towards your end zone. Sort of nothing ventured, nothing gained sort of thing. But I mean, if he fails to pick up the ball here...
He does.
And it's still in.
Imagine if you had a few more elves down here, it would have been, harder to mark them all up. And you could really try and drive it home.
Yeah, well, this Agility 5 blitzer can potentially...
That's right. It's all 2 pluses.
Pick up that ball, and yeah, he can potentially pick up that ball, grab the ball off the ground, and take that go for it into the end zone.
Yeah, 2 plus pick up, 2 plus dodge, 2 plus GFI. So that's a 1, 2. Oh, no, it's 2 dodges, isn't it? 2 plus 2 plus.
Dodge
2
out.
plus 2 plus 2 plus. So that's what, 5 2 pluses?
1, 2,
the game has just
3,
turned
4,
on
5,
its head,
yeah.
hasn't it?
That's it, yeah. I mean, I still think Sanjun here tries to send a few more elves down through this widened gap. But if I'm Sanjun, I'm probably going to take those 5-2 pluses every day of the week. So anyway, if you can get the blitz on that peasant there and knock that peasant over, this thing becomes a hell of a lot easier.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
1 on the pickup.
One.
Has a reroll.
Ooh, instant reroll.
Gets it.
Gets it. Wow.
What a turnaround. If I was Rhys, I would have just lost it.
Yeah, it's
I think-
sickening, isn't it?
I would have
Oh,
choked on whatever drink I've got in my hand.
he has played it perfectly, and he's down 2-1. I can't believe that.
Mate, it just it's that elf BS.
And the
As
last,
I said, you can't count them out until it's over.
yeah, the last knockdown elf comes up as well. So now all of a sudden you're looking at 4 turns to get a 2-1 win. All of a sudden turns into 3 turns to try and salvage a draw from this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to feel for Rhys right there. He's done absolutely nothing wrong.
Perfect defense.
And another good one. And look at that kick. Does he have kick or what? Sanju didn't even have kick.
No.
He doesn't
No.
even have kick, and he's had 2 kicks into the end zone. My kickers can't even do that.
Fortunately,
That's
it's
so
not another
amazing.
blitz to capitalize on.
Well, the thing is, if the ball bounces out, who does Rhys give it to? Because he's got 3 turns to score. So like,
Just give it to
might
Griff and be done with it.
Yeah, give it to Griff, go up the sideline, sort of thing.
But as I said before, like the ball has a better than 50% chance of staying in on the pitch when it ends up there.
Well, it did stay on the pitch.
And it did, yeah. And now Griff's moving all the way deep.
He's already in scoring position. No GFIs required. That'll be the same with this blitzer on the other side, I imagine.
Yeah. Well, that's some pretty good just to get you, back up scoring threats. I think
Yeah,
there's
try
going to
and
be some
split the elves.
rage in these hits right here. I'm hoping for some rage in these hits. Those peasant boots are angry.
He's rolling all his powers right now. Can you imagine if he fails this pickup again?
I think we'd have a very unhappy Rhys on our hands.
Yeah, we would. Fair enough. So that's the thing. Arthur Pendragon has to throw the ball. He's nowhere near in range. He's not a Mighty Blow Blitz. It's a little surprising. Mighty Blow wouldn't have beaten the armor, though.
No, but he's another elf on the ground.
That's the thing now. How does Sanjun defend?
2
if he
turns
commits-
to defend.
He commits too much to the back 2. Rhys is going to give it to Odin, the Wanderer, or one of the other blitzers. I think he shouldn't have put Huggen so far back. He should have had him as that other threat. He's going to just do a screen.
But conversely, if you're asked, like Sanjun's now being asked to cover 2 potential scoring threats, it's certainly drawing numbers off of the ball carrying himself. So,
Well, the ball carrier himself is out of range, but but all the guys around the line of scrimmage are in range of the end zone.
I like this. Just kind of, take control of the middle of the field and just try and, knock back anyone that's kind of in scoring range already.
Yeah.
Force Rhys to roll the dice to try and score if he wants to draw the game. But to be fair, Rhys doesn't really have anything to lose.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, he just got 2 touchdowns scored on him in 3 turns.
An obnoxious dodge through the middle there from Jesus.
Yeah, 2 men covering Griff, certainly showing a bit of respect to the star player.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, if Rift double skulls, it's pretty much game over. So you got to watch out, Griff. Maybe he might try and blitz through that runner in the back and get open again.
I'm not sure there's any need to go for the, one of the pass to one of his guys down the field here, He can always, punch a little bit through the middle here and get another scoring threat while, just moving the ball down the field gradually.
I guess it's true. He does only have 2 turns, though.
Yeah,
so anyone not in range at the end of this turn is effectively just not there, really.
You've got to respect the elf dodging ability here, but what are we going to see? That's awfully close. Is he going to cage up there, or?
I think we'll see a Harold Hadrada blitz on this AG5 blitzer. Ooh.
There's the handoff. I'm all of a sudden getting the feeling we're going to see the Griff dodge into the end zone with a big pass.
Yeah, I reckon.
Oh yeah, it's on.
Here goes. Come on, Griff.
Well, here we go.
It's a short pass. There's no point
it's a quick
GFIing. Don't do it! Oh.
Have we evened up? What a great game.
Yeah, well-engineered touchdown from Rhys there, I think.
Although he did make his odds harder by those 2 GFIs. Oh. Well, it was well deserved, though. One more turn. Will we see perhaps a riot or a 1-turn attempt here? This should be interesting.
I kind of feel like if we saw a riot now, given both an extra turn, it'd be fitting because they lost that turn in the beginning.
Yeah, would be a bit of fun too, seeing that play out.
Get our full 16 turns, as it were.
I mean, Sanju did get one more turn. Cheap blitz.
Daslatham, thanks very much for the follow. I really appreciate it.
I'm a little disappointed after using that Apothecary on turn 3 for both teams. There was no real permanent injuries, except for poor Rhys. His one injury, the Apo was useless.
Do you think again Sanjun's going to think about the 1-turn here?
I don't know why he wouldn't, to be honest. I mean, sure, his play might die, but, why not?
What's the worst that happens? Someone dies.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Though without the re-rolls, the old one turn, it becomes a little harder.
One turns with elves are a long shot at the
That's
best
true.
of times anyway. Unless you're playing wood elves.
He's certainly taking a good think. Hmm. He might just retreat all his players back in the hope for, no one to die.
So it looks like we might see something here.
Yeah, it looks like some attempt. Will Sanjun be able to set it up properly in 21 seconds?
Probably spent the last 2 and a bit minutes trying to work it out.
Yeah.
You know, a one-turn touchdown would be kind of fitting end to this game, wouldn't it?
It would. That would be the second
It's
one-turn
done.
touchdown.
It's
Oh,
done.
that's it.
Perfect defense.
Game over.
Yep.
I think that Rhys might foul, and I think he would be quite justified. I would be very salty too after that blitz. Well, I mean, he actually hasn't moved his players out the way, so maybe Sanjin will see a way through this.
No, there's no way to.
Not without taking really, really bad dodges, making the one dies.
It's actually not too crazy. See that hole between Griff and the blocker to his right? and up?
Yep.
If he runs the Witch Elf through that hole, he can hit Frederick Barbarossa from behind and chain push the runner into that square. And then, of course, since that player doesn't have fend, he frenzies. And if he just fills that gap, he can push him back into that blitzer.
Perhaps.
So that's one there. And then you'd have to go again. That's when it gets really tricky. Like, I can't see much way around that. Yeah, it looks like vanity pastime.
Whoa, that was weird on my screen
whoa.
right there.
So
Turn 16
comes-
respect foul?
Yeah. Not like that.
No.
Come on, Harold.
Mighty Blow makes a stun.
I want more than stuns. Maybe blitz the Calador back onto his other players, maybe. Or just a greedy blitz against one of the nasty players.
Got Mighty Blow Blitz coming in here.
Against AG5. Oh,
Ooh.
Just a stun.
I think we might see a foul. Oh,
No,
he's
no. Too gentlemanly.
Yeah.
So at the end of the game there, we had a 2-2 draw between the Shadowhill Cowboys, coached by Sanjun, and Rhys's Ravens, of course, coached by Rhys. The MVPs for both teams for the Shadowhill Cowboys was Ferios, who moves up to 38 SPP, and Kukulane gets his level actually for Rhys's Ravens. I think you were saying you wanted some SPP on that model, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. That gets him a skill. He also got the MVP, in fact. So that will get him a skill. We'll have to see what he gets for that player.
So the Shadowhill Cowboys made 6 armor breaks that game, whereas Rhys's Ravens made 11. Possession, Rhys's Ravens had a lot more throughout the game, honestly.
They actually had 100 yards running. I'd be interested to see how many squares that was, because that's quite a high number. I haven't seen that high for a while, to be honest.
Yeah, the blocks succeeded were actually relatively equal. Shadowhill Cowboys succeeding in 31, Rhys's Ravens succeeding in 33. But you have a look at the KOs and injuries inflicted, and Rhys's Ravens got a lot more success with his injury die than what the Shadowhill Cowboys did.
Yeah, which doesn't surprise me with, 4 Mighty Blow to 0 and just same armor, really, across both teams. So
Aside from
Sanjun's actually just said in Discord, 2 missing next game, bye week next week.
Oh, come on.
Well, that's alright, isn't it?
It's good when you can get it.
Yeah, that's so good for Sanjin, though.
So guys, any more final thoughts? You gonna wrap up this game?
No, it was
Really?
well played. I don't think Rhys made any mistakes, and it was looking like he might get outplayed. Like, not so much outplayed, but outlucked, I think would be the better word. But that Griff Overwell touchdown, bringing it back to 2-2, was fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
Griff came up clutch.
you guys want to make any kind of shout outs or anything? Any YouTube channels or anything you want to advertise, or works that are going to be published soon or anything?
Oh, well, the underpitch is coming out soon, isn't it, Crusader?
Yeah, sometime in the coming week, as I've said before, just got to fit it in with life and work and whatnot. But if you haven't followed Tomo's channel, do so, because he's putting on you guys are putting on a fine show here.
Of course, you've got your own YouTube channel as well, don't you, Crusader? If anyone's looking to learn, a little more of the basics of Blood Bowl, you can see is it Crusader's Blood Bowl playbook or something like that?
Yeah, Crusader's playbook. Yeah, Crusader spelt like my screen name, just with a K instead of a C. Only 2 episodes out. One's dealing with reading player stats, and the second one deals with movement and tackle zones. But yeah, again, when I can find some more time, I've got a blocking episode coming out next. Aiming for that to be out sometime in the week or two.
Magic. So I want to thank you guys for joining me for casting this game. For the YouTube guys, if you like the video, please leave a like. You dislike. Any comments about the game or any suggestions about the cast, please leave a comment below. And please subscribe if you want to see more action from Rebels Big O League. Thank you. Okay, so that's all.